now for our roses and thorns. You know, who are those women that are setting themselves apart, and who are those women that are really struggling? Well, our top three this week are, my first one is Selma. I really like Selma. You know, she is just great looking, always presents herself well, very gracious. She's articulate, seems to have some significant depth. Very nice chemistry with Sean. I mean, they relate really well. They, you know, he even mentioned wife as he's talking to her. They talked about beautiful, teaching a language. He actually hinted that he went out with a Persian woman. It sounds like she's of Middle Eastern or Persian background. She seems to be very mature, has a sort of self-assurance, a self-esteem about her that's neat to see. And when she was in the group date, she was able to handle that pressure really well. She performed awesomely in the in the photo shoot. But her comments about some of the difficult people, at least on camera, they didn't show her really having negative or disparaging remarks about the other women who were really struggling and created some commotion. So just real nice chemistry with Sean, and Selma's rising up to the top of the list for me. Second is Desiree. You know, Desiree is fun. She laughs. She's just real down to earth, good self-esteem, good comfort level with who she is, and comfortable in her own skin. You know, they had a great, awesome date. You know, she shared a lot of depth about herself, and she was able to share with Sean and sort of elicit information from Sean. She, you know, took it upon herself to ask him more about who he is, and not just was being interviewed herself, but interviewed him a little bit, and that went well. And they interacted nicely together. They seemed to have some nice physical chemistry together that I think was appropriate for the depth of the relationship at this point, but was comfortable for them together. She seems genuine, and obviously she handled the prank with good humor. Didn't get impulsive, didn't get irate, wasn't self-centered in the process. Kristy just was awesome. You know, obviously the photo shoot was right up her alley in her sweet spot, so she did incredibly well with that. Was very comfortable being in the spotlight. You know, letting her skills and ability and personality shine through. Was pretty easy for her under that kind of scenario. She was very positive. She had positive comments about some of the other competitors as they dealt with their photo shoots, and she was helpful to them. And that was just nice to see, where she could have been arrogant and demeaning and could have been a know-it-all in the photo shoot. She was obviously great looking, and they seemed to have real nice physical chemistry together as well. Whenever they talked afterwards, it seemed to have some nice chemistry. She seemed to be outgoing personality. So those are my top three: Selma, Desiree, and Kristy. You know, Lesley M is sort of an interesting, four in this, as she seems to be more of a sister kind of relationship. There's a comfort level and a fun and a spontaneity with it, but there's a little bit of awkwardness and isn't that physical chemistry there that I think maybe the other three, seem to have. The other three seem to have a nice pace to them. Selma, Desiree, and Kristy have a good pace of the relationship that they're working with Sean compared to Lesley M. So those are my three roses. Unfortunately, the three thorns, I don't think they're very much of a surprise. I mean, we have Tierra and Amanda, and all the clips that we see, both clips that they show in these episodes as well as previews of upcoming episodes, show especially Tierra in a terrible light. I mean, very self-centered, immature, arrogant, territorial, selfish, jealous. Amanda, not as many of those kind of comments, but similar negativity to who she is, both in her expression and some of the comments. And you just want to have somebody, if you're going to spend your life with them, you want to have people that are positive, that are engaging, that during good times, they can be a lot of fun and enjoy the blessing and not be big-headed about it. But in the difficult times, that they can also be somebody that's reliable, accountable, trustworthy, but can be positive and make the best out of a difficult set of circumstances. And Tierra and Amanda just don't seem to be that kind of person. The third thorn I'm going to throw in there is Lindsay. As her initial episode, coming in a wedding gown, getting drunk and making a fool of herself, still has left an impression on me. She's an Army brat, which is always a little bit of struggle for people that have moved around and lived in that kind of lifestyle. Sometimes a struggle for military kids. And her interactions with Sean this time were a little bit better. She took a little bit of ownership. He left her off the hook when I think he could have dug with her a little bit more to find out a little bit why she came in the way she did that first episode. So those are my three thorns: Tierra, Amanda, and Lindsay. And I hope Tierra and Amanda are gone, but unfortunately for the previews, I think we have to live with them for a little while longer. Thanks a lot.